House Umber of Last Hearth is a noble house hailing from the Last Hearth in the far north. Its current lord, Jon Umber, also known as the Great Jon, is sworn to House Stark of Winterfell, as the Umbers have been for centuries. The Umber sigil is a roaring giant, brown-haired and wearing a skin with broken silver chains on a flame-red background. The Last Hearth is the seat of House Umber. It lies close to the Gift, in a forest east of the King's Road. It is north of the Last River, northeast of Long Lake, and west of the Bay of Seals. With the exception of the castles of the Night's Watch, Last Hearth is the northernmost major castle of the Seven Kingdoms, hence its name, Last Hearth. The Umbers are a hard people, moulded by the rough northern climate they dwell in. They control the harsh lands along the Bay of Seals, south of the New Gift, and extending west to the King's Road. However, the Umbers have also been known to graze their sheep in the high meadows of the northern mountains during the summer. House Umber is an ancient house who once ruled like many of the other petty kings of the Age of Heroes. After many struggles, the Umbers were reduced from kings to vassals of House Stark, who at the time were the kings of Winter and ruled the entire north. Amongst many other possibilities, the Night's King of legend is rumoured to have been an Umber, but it is much more likely that if this figure did actually exist, he would have been a Stark or a Bolton. The Umbers' proximity to the wall puts them at risk of wildling raids more than any other house in the north. This proximity also means they've often been called upon more than any other house to defend the north against wildling raiders. Due to this, the Umbers have a particular hatred of the wildlings and free folk from beyond the wall, due to their lands and people being attacked by raiders consistently for thousands of years. In the time of the main book series, Lord Great Jon Umber's cousin, the daughter of Morse Umber, was carried off by wildling raiders, furthering this hatred during the modern age. The Umbers joined House Stark of defending the Kingdom of the North from the brothers and kings beyond the wall, Gendel and Gorn, 300 years ago, and have defended the North whenever they are called upon. Queen Alysanne Targaryen and her dragon Silverwing visited the Umbers at Last Hearth in 58 AC during Alysanne and Jaehaerys' royal progress to the north. After King Jaehaerys was delayed in joining her at Winterfell, she took a trip to the wall, stopping at the Last Hearth on her way. Although they deny it, Umber lords are rumoured to still practice the tradition of the Lord's right to the First Night, which was banned during the reign of King Jaehaerys Targaryen. It was Alysanne herself who urged the king to ban the right to the First Night, the right of a lord to bed a bride on her wedding night, and in general sleep with any of the small folk's wives, with or without consent. Alaric Stark, the Lord of Winterfell at the time, did warn the king. The right was held at great importance for many of the First Men lords, and some would not give up their traditions and rights easily. If rumours are to be believed, it appears that this is the case with the lords of House Umber. Even into the main book series, the Umbers remain a key northern house. When Eddard Stark is arrested by the Lannisters, they are the first to rally to the side of his son, Robb Stark. Lord Great Jon Umber would later be the first of the lords to name Robb Stark King in the North, and would remain a key part of Robb's forces throughout the War of Five Kings, up until its end at the Red Wedding. The Great Jon was one of Robb's most loyal lords and key generals. He leads Robb's vanguard during the journey from Riverrun to the Twins for the wedding of Lord Edmure Tully to Rosalind Frey. Later at the Red Wedding, the Great Jon becomes drunk in a drinking competition with Sir Willem Frey and Merryt Frey. Once the events of the Red Wedding unfold, it takes 8 men to subdue him, of whom he kills 1 and injures 2 others. He also bites the ear of Sir Lyson Hague. But eventually the Great Jon is captured and imprisoned at the Twins, and his heir, the Small Jon, is murdered by the Boltons. Because of the fractured situation of the northern forces at the end of the War of Five Kings, it's currently hard to actually pinpoint who is the current heir of House Umber, or really the fate of the Great Jon Umber himself. The Great Jon himself is a large man, nearly 7 feet tall and reportedly twice as wide as Hodor. He is heavily muscled and is a formidable warrior with fists as large as hams. Sir Jaime Lannister regards him as one of the strongest living men in Westeros, thinking of who could match him in a fight. The Great Jon is proud, boisterous and fierce, and impressed only by those who earn his respect. He does not often respect doctrine, and he believes that women should not be allowed on the battlefield. Jon's speaking voice is a bassy rumble, but he surprisingly has a decent singing voice. He wields the biggest, ugliest greatsword that Bran Stark had ever seen when Robb was rallying his troops at Winterfell, which would make it bigger than ice, the Valyrian steel sword of House Stark. With the Great John imprisoned, Queen Regent Cersei Lannister claims the Umbers have grudgingly joined with Lord Roose Bolton, whom the Lannisters have raised as Warden of the North in House Stark's stead. This is only partly true, however. Hother Horsebane leads half of the remaining Umber men under the Bolton banner, although Roose Bolton considers them untrustworthy, likely to switch sides at their first chance. This is supported by the fact that Mors Crowfoot, an Umber, has joined the cause of Stannis Baratheon, who is liberating the North from the Boltons and the Greyjoys alike. Mors makes it clear that Umbers will not fight Umber. An interesting little fact about House Umber is that George R. R. Martin may have been inspired by the Kingdom of Northumbria when creating House Umber. Northumbria, which was located in the north of England, in between the Humber River and Hadrian's Wall, the same way the Umberlands are located in the North of Westeros, between the last river and the wall. It's also possible that the name Umber came from the word Northumbria. When you consider that much of the rest of Westeros is inspired by the old kingdoms of the British Isles in the same way, this idea does carry quite a lot of weight.